fifth time is the charm. We just barely did that with fourth time, but remember a few weeks ago where I was complaining about the Android app for the GoPro? Yeah, that may be the problem. Or it may be the fact that this episode is brought to you by the letters OG and the number Yoda. That may have something to do with it. Anyways, first things out of the way, you will notice that this week's episode of the Kelp Bed, or this week's strip of the Kelp Bed, is one single sheet. It's not four separate panels, which I realize can be a strain on the eyes. So, in addition to the usual free soundtrack download with the PDF, you can go to Bandcamp, download it, PDFs included in there with the tracks. I'll also put it up on my website so you can read it without squinting and moving it back and forth like your parents do, trying to read a menu, that type of thing. Second part that I want to bring up, there's no new characters. However, I'll be doing zine and cassette reviews separately, as I said last week. So the feedback on that was great, by the way. Thank you. So, but what I want to talk about, that was pretty good, wasn't it? What I do wish to talk about, though, is since we're talking about Fulci, you like that Vanna White move? That was pretty sweet, wasn't it? But since we're talking about Fulci, and it's Halloween, you know what? For the normies, deal with it. If we have to listen to like Christmas carols way before Thanksgiving, you can deal with us obsessing over Halloween. I watched Pumpkinhead last night, and that was a good start to the season. So I started thinking, if I was to do the soundtrack for a Fulci movie, what would I do with it? And not to take away from the original soundtracks, just what I would like to do if given that chance. And at the same time, I was thinking about Delia Derbyshire. I believe I've linked to the documentary before, but with a sweeping viewership of, I think, 4 or 5 people, yeah, it's maybe a lot of people's first time thinking that. I'll put the link to that documentary below. In it, she talked about how she would record wine bottles with different amounts of water in them and then slow down or speed up the tapes to make different pitches. And I was like, hey, that sounds like a little bit of cross-faded fun. So, once again, took the 58, closed mic'd them, then I used a contact mic with them. So, 4 out of the 5 tracks this week are all the tracks are named after Fulci, but they're all based off these sounds that I got from a gin bottle, a whiskey bottle, and then a chemical beaker. And the great thing was, I'll show you here, the contact mic that I used was a Verdant Weapons contact mic. Gray Holger makes these. You may know him from the podcast Noise Extra. If you don't know him from the podcast Noise Extra, correct that immediately, because it's a wonderful weekly podcast every Wednesday when I have physical therapy. I'm happy because I know I'm going to listen to the 3 of them talk about brilliant noise albums, and it's just a wonderful thing. So you should definitely listen to that. Check out Verdant Weapons, because he also makes other devices for noise musician besides contact mics, and he has his own label, Chondritic Sounds. Pulled that one out there. Pick up an album, grab a shaker, grab a contact mic, but this contact mic is beautiful, and I already have it unpackaged, so you don't have to watch me struggle with Grindle to get it out. You will see, 1/4-inch jack, 6 feet on this. You can get them longer, and he has different diameter piezo's that you can use. This, I think, is a 35 millimeter piezo, and this is what he considers the standard toughness on it. He also sells an extra toughness, but I've got to tell you, I have walked on this, I've rocked on it with a rocking chair. None of this was on purpose, mind you. It's just because I'm a bear of limited intelligence. I've done everything to this microphone except toss it down the garbage disposal, which I did do years ago. Hugh, you remember that day if you're watching this. Yeah, so these mics are indestructible, and the great thing was with the gin and whiskey bottle, they wouldn't fit inside, so I taped it to the side. The beaker, I could submerge it directly in the water. Then I scraped it with a palette knife, brushes, all types of things. So that's where I get the sounds. then I process them through like the Morphogene, the Lyra 8. Like, that's the great thing. When you do your own sound design, you can kind of go, I wonder what it would be like. And if you've watched early episodes, this is how I approach everything. So it makes for a great, I don't know, it's fun. And then you get to do great shit with it. So not too bad. You're not losing anything there. So like I said, go to Verta Weapons, pick up an album or two from the Noise label, grab a contact mic, start taping everything. I mean, I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of these and tape them to the particle board that I tape my paper to before I start painting and see what sounds I get out of that. So, much more craziness will ensue. But I think at this point I've droned on more than enough. So, thank you guys. Love you all. Talk to you later. And welcome back to another exciting episode of Idiots with Pens. Once again from beautiful Brooklyn. It's kind of sunny, still a little bit humid. Yada yada yada. Anyways, here we go. This originally, when I decided to do the Kelp Bed, I was going to do it black and white. Do it kind of like the old newspaper type deals where it's black and white 6 days of the week, and on Sundays you do the full color bonanza. Obviously, I changed my mind on that. A lot of that comes down to I fell in love with Charles Schultz and the Peanuts again, and I really loved just his simple color palette, and I was like, you know what, I don't have any restrictions on me, might as well go for it. Let's throw some color in there, and voila. But I still wanted to do the big, Sunday Spectacular, because this was actually one that I really loved doing originally when I was mocking them up years ago. Now I feel old. The debut with the Fulci Otters. Now, if you know who Fulci is, you know what's going on. If you don't, I would say pause this video now and go look up Fulci immediately, especially since we're coming into Halloween season. This is the best time for you to ever be introduced to the works of Fulci the Master. Yeah, I'm just doing the same thing you are watching it go here. You can see once again I'm using the Watercolor Confections complexion set. It's a great watercolor set. Like, they cover pretty much all your skin tones. I'm impressed as hell with that cheap little thing. And a lot of this strip came about because the more that I read about the background of Deepwater Horizon and what led to just such a fundamental screw up. Screw up's not even the word for it, but you know what I mean. It was so horrible. And once again, it's didn't happen in a vacuum. It took years of nonsense in order for us to reach that cataclysmic event, and I wanted to make sure everybody knew where it came from. So I did a deep dive into BP, the Mineral Management Service, all that type of thing, and oh my god. I know we all kind of roll our eyes at the way our governments operate, but sometimes you just like, dear God, get a clue. But I really like the idea of, Otters taking revenge. And actually, one of the first ideas when I started joking about the Fulci Otters with Kathleen was, I believe it was Katrina. And nowadays all of this flooding is starting to roll together. It's hard to keep track of what. But there was a meme going around where, a bunch of guys standing around with guns acting tough saying, and they had tried to say, looters will beware. Looters beware or will be shot, whatever it is. You've probably seen the meme. But of course, they misspelled it. And somebody took that and put an otter in a beret and had them saying, Les otters are not afraid, which was frankly genius. The best way to respond to stupidity is with comedy, so that was kind of the beginning of the idea of Echo Warrior Otters and the rest of them. And in order for them to fight, they're gonna zombify themselves. That and, I love all the old creepies and stuff like that. The other thing on this one that I really liked is the text is so heavy on it. It kind of reminds me of handmade signs that you see all over the place that people do. Especially in Brooklyn, you'll see a lot of hand lettered signs. Just somebody decided to make a sign about something. So, it kind of has that look. I'm a huge fan of Mexican black letter. I have a couple of books just collecting examples of Mexican black letter. And if you read Raw Vision magazine, which I think they're quarterly now, I'm not sure how often they come out, but it reminded me a lot. And it also reminded me of the Toynbee tiles. So I really wanted to kind of hit that feel with the lettering on this one. Or I could just be covering up for my general incompetency. That's always a possibility. What is style? Style is mistakes, particular to you. And since I am a bear of limited intelligence, tons of style. One of the difficulties on this one was because it was oversized paper, I couldn't put it onto my normal pieces of particle board and just trot it around. So I had to put it on my big drawing board and then, kind of lean over the thing to get a lot of this done. My back took a beating on getting this. I know. Complain. Where is my swooning couch? I need a swooning couch. Where is my Hoffenpfeffer? I need to watch that again. That'll be great. And let me say once again, Dale Rowney acrylic ink, greatest invention I have found. That and nib pins. If I could put that Dale Rowney into my fountain pens, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Then again, I can't really complain about I can't remember who makes it. I'll find out for you guys before the next time. And there's a brand, H&G Sketch, I think it is. That stuff is almost as bulletproof as the acrylic ink. Of course, Sybil is disagreeing with me vehemently in the background. That's to be expected. See, I wasn't kidding about this being text heavy. But I wanted to get everything in there. They kind of deserved it. And if you can hear that ringing in the background, that would be my beloved wife coming back. Not as if she left me. She probably should have, but yeah. You know what? I should have followed somebody's advice to always work from life and set up some fat rails in order to get that properly. Nothing like ending up with another stroke. That would be wonderful. The great thing is, if you have a stroke and you're under 50 when it happens, all the doctors are just going to assume that you're doing huge lines of gack anyway, so might as well have fun with it. Go for it. I want to live someplace where the medical profession is half as judgmental as they are here. Make it 1/4 as judgmental. If you have long hair and tattoos and you go to the hospital, you're in trouble. Yeah, see, Sybil's agreeing in the background. Not sure if you can hear that. He says it's well earned, though. That's because he's contrary like that. I think he learned that from somebody. And there's the Moltau paint markers. These things are lifesavers. I probably need to get another set because I've had that running on a couple years at this point, I think. And look at that. I actually did swatch my watercolors. You might as well go buy a lottery ticket now. Because either you're going to win big or an asteroid's going to kill us all. If you see me swatching stuff, that's what happened. Yeah, those little plates that I use there, the ceramic ones, don't pay the ridiculous amount of money they want you to pay for watercolor palettes. Go to the dollar store, get yourself some cheap ceramic plates. They work just as well. Of course, you won't look as cool as everybody else, but you probably have work to show for it. Wow, thanks for the surround sound there, Sybil. And you can see the tablet there. Got a picture of Deepwater Horizon falling into the ocean. Gotta love our oil industry. And how many more of these have we had? And I love that they keep on lying and trying to cover them up and then they get busted. It's like everything is mapped and monitored nowadays. If private citizens are being monitored, what makes you think you can get away with it? Oh, the hubris of the corporate class. I forgot about that. Here's another time I should have been drawing from life. Somebody needs to get on the sexy leggings. And there. Once again, reference picture, otters. I have so many otters on my tablet right now. People are going to think I'm a furry if I keep this up. There we go, just filling everybody in, making sure the lines are right, yada yada yada. And actually, learned how to do these guys straight out of the Loomis book. If you don't know Loomis, look him up. You'll learn to draw anything from Loomis. And I love the fact he's from like, what, the 20s or the 30s? Those old illustration books are a treasure trove. Kind of like the hidden secret those in the know about. I'm giving it away now. Go buy Loomis.